you think he was doing that like as a punishment to try to punish you, Grandpa?
For what?
Right. So there was no reason at all.
I wasn't doing nothing.
Yeah.
There was a lady in Grady, Arkansas. Because I got so I wouldn't go down there so no people could beat me. Because they would tell stuff that they tell their mama that I did and they would beat me. I've had chains locked around my neck. And then they locked me to a bed because I couldn't move the bed, I was too small. And they would tell their mama that I tore up stuff and they be the one that tore up. I get a beating. Daddy come home around about, well, he would over beat me, I don't think, till around 10 o'clock at night. And that's when we were living in the back of the pool hall. And he had beat me so that it wouldn't hurt. But I would get in a knot to keep him from hitting me in my eye. And he would tiptoe on me with that rope. And the Lord showed me after I got grown how easy he could have killed me. And I wanted to kill him. Oh, I wanted to kill that man so bad. But it wasn't in the plan of the good Lord because I had his gun.
That's right.
I had the gun in my hand many times, looking at it. And then put it back in the trunk. I said it just wasn't the will of God for me to kill him. But man, I was going to tell you, as a child, I wanted to kill him so bad. I wanted to blow his brains out. Even in Arkansas, but I never got his gun in Arkansas. But I knew if I told my grandma or my papa, they would kill him. But I didn't want them to do it. I wanted to do it. I didn't want to. But I told my uncle after I got grown. My uncle lived in Sacramento. And we were walking to the store and I was telling him about it. He said, you should have told me. He said, I'd have killed that man. No, I didn't want you to kill him. I'm going to put that on myself. I couldn't understand it. The things that he used to do to me. Now, he told us, he left. I've been, I don't know, man, there are places that I've been, I don't forget. We used to travel. I had been locked in rooms all day, no water, no food, no nothing. And I said, he took us to St. Louis, Missouri to live with his sister. She locked us in a room. Until he get off from work. And then she tells some kind of lie. And we get beat. This does not make sense. But what can you do about it as a kid? Things that you can do now. And if they find out, they do something about it. But back in then, they didn't care. That's why folks don't care. I don't think. I remember we was in Doom. If we stayed outside there, it got dark. We were scared to go up in the house. There were people living behind us. We'd be out there hollering. Finally, they hear and they come up there. They'll light the lamp for us to go in the house. But we haven't had nothing to eat all day. We put up our clothes and go to bed. And on the way there, we know that they were there. The next morning, when we wake up and get up, there's food on the table in a tin top covered up. We would eat that and go outside. Sometimes we wouldn't even see them until that Monday morning.
Who's this, Grandpa?
Huh?
Who are you talking about?
My mom and dad.
Okay. Wow.
Wouldn't see them till that Monday morning. They be in the kitchen cooking. We hear them in there. Finally, we get up and wash up. But without them being there, we didn't know nothing about no wash up. We just eat and go outdoors. But finally, they moved the Caucasian people. So white people don't know. They lived just about a yard from us. They lived in front of us. Just dark one night, that lady came down. She locked up that house. She taken us to her house. She fed us, gave us a bed, and put us in bed. Now this is Arkansas. White folks.
Yeah.
And put us to bed. I don't know what time it was, but I remember Daddy coming, knocking on the door, asking about, "Do you see my kid?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "They in here and in the bed. Leave them alone. I will bring them home in the morning." And that morning she would take us to the house. She would walk us to the house. And I was glad. I was so glad that she moved, because there was peace. But my dad used to tell us, "I'm going to move and take y'all. No, I'm going to move and I'm going to leave y'all with your mama." And that's what she was going to do. But he taking us, and that's what he did. That's the way he treated us. His people treated us. I remember in the town, winter town, it's just out there on the levee. And they called it South Bend. And my dad, his daughter lived up there. You never got enough to eat unless he came and cooked. Man, you ask for more. She said, "Go around the house and I'll meet you around the corner." And one night, one evening about dusk, I looked at the road and I saw a wagon coming. That was the happiest day of my life. My grandmother had sent my cousin after us. He came and got us. We got out there in the woods too, good and dark. But I never forgot it. My grandmother had cooked dumpling and squirrel. I was the last somebody to get up from that table, my grandmother. She fed me with tears in her eyes. Because every time she asked me, say, "Henry, you want some more?" I said, "Yeah." And you got peaches, can't big as those, but they taller, but they that big around. And I drank those for the buttermilk and eat the dumplings and spoil. And finally, when I got up from that table, I should have stayed sat down. Finally, when I got up from the table and went in there what Papa was, I couldn't sit down. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't lay down. And standing up, I was in misery. That's how full I was. And I almost until God over there.
Wow.
But that I didn't, but Grandma already knew, because she knew, said them people wouldn't feed me. But as the day long, I got all right. I don't know where that food went. It didn't come out, it stayed in. But I was so glad. I have never been treated like that in all days of my life. I heard on radio not too long ago where this woman locked her kids up in a room and had feeding them. These was white folks. I said, I can agree with that, but I don't want no more of that. It was a boy riding a bicycle in Chinatown, and he asked these people, he said, excuse me, they would not move out of his way. So finally, he rode that bicycle on their foot. Then they want to fight. I said, that's not happening today. I had my blades, and I mean, I was going to cut me up somebody if they had tried to jump on that kid. Then, that was something. I don't know why I had to be too. My mama, Lord help us all, coming out here, we couldn't get a ticket in Gould, Arkansas. They would not sell us a ticket in Gould, Arkansas to come to California. We had to get a ticket to Little Rock, Arkansas. My mother got us to Little Rock, Arkansas. The bus for the train wasn't leaving till late. And where she went, only God knows. There's an early part of the morning. We played in that thing. No food, nothing to eat. And when she showed up, she still didn't give us anything to eat. And when, after I grew up, I was 14 or then, my mama sent me away from here. Which means she don't know where they're going or nothing. But she sent me with them. That was Blythe, California. Out there in the middle of the desert. I didn't see no restaurant, no nothing. I lived in that place for a solid month. No food, no water. Living off of watermelon. Didn't know where I was going to lay my head at night. For a solid month. I finally got away home, which was a guy. Name was Mel. I found it on his name. He told me many times, he said, man, he said, I will give you the money to go home. He said, I know you don't have it. He said, but you didn't give it back when you can. But I did not know I was going to ever see that man again. And here I am, don't spend his money. I told him, no, man, that's all right. For one weekend, they decided to come back to Fresno. But I still have been gone a solid month. Nowhere to lay, I didn't even see a bed, not on talking about laying down. Didn't even see a restaurant, didn't know where one was. Sometimes I said I eat watermelon, sometimes we didn't have no. Like Saturday and Sunday, you eat nothing. I don't even remember where I did with my suitcase, but when I got ready to go, I found it. Oh God. When I got here, it was hot. Oh no, man, it was hot. My dad was sitting in a chair, rocking back, chewing that brown meat tobacco. My mother was in the kitchen cooking. And when I walked in the door, she come to the kitchen door. And my mother said to me, said, Henry said, when you get cleaned up, I want you to go to the store. That's all she said to me. Now I went and take a bath and I put on some clothes. I'm walking to the store. I said, it's a shame. You've been gone for a solid month. They don't even know where you were living or dead. And the only thing they can tell you when you get cleaned up, want you to go to the store. That was bad business. I went to the store with tears in my eyes, but that was all right. Grown people. I even got a job. Working nights. I was working at the Round Theater, I think, in my teens. I could go home and I couldn't go to sleep. If I wanted to go to sleep, I had to go to somebody else's house to go to sleep. Miss Bertha Williams lived across from us. I used to go over there and she'd tell me, boy, you go in that back room and you go to get in that bed. Sometime by the time I get in that bed, they would send for me. And then she'd tell me, say, Henry, your daddy wants you. And I would get out of that bed and go see what he wanted. But finally, they would send for me. And she would tell me, look, that boy worked last night. That boy need his rest. I'm not sending him nowhere. Now, when he wake up, I tell him. I would tell him. And that's the only way I would get rest. Even after I married, I go with my grandmother, my aunt. They lived in El Centro. And that depends on how you drive. Some people say it take them 8 hours to drive from here to El Centro. It was 438 miles from my house to my grandmother's. I get off from work at 12 o'clock at night. Throw me something in the trunk of the car. And drive all the way to El Centro. When I get to El Centro, well, Henry, come on, take me here. I said, people don't care. So I found it was a lady from Arkansas. Her name was Miss Hughes. I parked that car in my grandma's yard, go in and speak, and leave. I go down to Miss Hughes, she would put me in the bed. And she wouldn't wake me up for nothing. Not for nothing. And I'm gonna tell you this, and then I'm gonna go shut up.
Oh, you don't have to, Grandpa?
People is hard. This girl, I don't know how old she was, but I know she used to sit on that porch, pull up her dress and play with her thing. She made me drink her pee one day. I tell you, no. That was nasty.
Wow.
And I wanted to kill her too. But now looking back over my life, all the things that I've been through, God, I'm still here. And then on top of that, she was going to ask me to whoop me. And I left running. It was a white dude. He was walking, I ran up to him. and told him to stop them. And he turned. He said to them, "Wow, yo, what has he done?" I said, "I haven't done nothing." And they said I did something, but whatever it was, they lied. But I could see that white man many days after that. Look at that. He said, I should have got that boy. I should have got that boy. But the hardest part is when that man hit me in my head with that big stick and telling me that I didn't have no business up under that tree. After telling me to go under that tree and pick up them pecans, the stick didn't hurt. I was hurt because I wasn't big enough to whoop his behind.
Yeah. You talking about your stepdad. He told you to stand under the tree.
Yeah, he told me, go on that tree, boy, and pick up them pecans. And when I went under the tree, he stole this big stick knocked them pecans down. That stick came down, hit me right across the head. He had a big knot up there. My papa, he brought Susie a dog. No taller than that, about that long. They named the dog Fido. And I was laying on that porch playing with that dog. That dog tore that thing up. And he was just spitting that junk out. But I love to live with Papa and Grandma. Because I tried my best to burn that house down.
Where your mom lived?
Huh?
You tried to burn down the house your mom
I
lived in?
did. I set that house afire. I set that house afire. See, they get pictures out of a magazine and they put them on the wall. And I would light the bottom of that picture and blow it out. This particular day, I lit the bottom of that picture and I blew it out. I think I did it about 2 or 3 times. Finally, it came back. She was, I left it burn. And then we went outside and played. Every now and then, go back and see how far it burnt. It burnt all the way up that wall. Just a straight line up that wall. It burned a hole in the loft. It burned a hole in the ceiling. You could look up and see daylight. And then, Mr. Greenmiller, he built that house back. But they sent me to stay with my grandma and papa, which that was just as good as I wanted. He taken Judyville to Louisiana. But he thought she was his daughter. And Mama never made it no better, no worse, but he knew I wasn't his son. That's why I think he beated me like, dirty me like he did.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look at him and I be trying to feel him out. What in the world did this man got on his mind? But I couldn't. Couldn't figure him out. If you wanted him, like on the weekend, Mama going out. And if you haven't been to sleep and had no sleep, you wasn't going to sleep that weekend. You can forget it. Man, if I had any place to stay, I would have stayed. I would rather spend night anywhere than to go home. I don't know what he would, because Mama would be there, and he'd get him a stick or something like this and looked like he was trying to beat up the house. I said, that man is crazy.
Yeah.
It's stone crazy.
What was his name, Grandpa?
Huh?
What was his name?
Will
Will?
Earl.
That's right. You did tell me that.
And my mama told me when I got 12. One day she said, Henry, how come you don't use your real name? I says, what is my real name? She said, your real name is Henry West Logan Jr. And I started using that. A lot of people think I paid to have my name. She said, I didn't pay nothing. She told me that, I just started calling me Henry Logan. Henry West Logan.
What were they calling you before that?
Huh?
What was your name before that? Or what were they calling you?
Henry Earl.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they were calling me Henry Earl. A lot of people that I went to school with, they don't know me by my name. They only know me by Henry Earl. I talked to a gentleman named is Frank Diamond, and he lived around Los Angeles. That's what he knew me by until I told him, my name ain't no Henry Earl. My name is Henry Logan. He said, man, you mean tell me, as long as I've been knowing you, Henry Earl is all I know. I said, well, it's not no Henry Earl. It's a Henry West Logan Jr. They told me I wouldn't be able to get my Social Security. I don't pay them no attention. They told me you ain't gonna be able to get no driver, which I had. A driver out there found a Techno, but I can't see. But when I went to get my license, the lady told me, no, the man told me, you can't get no license. The lady walked up and said, yes, he can. And she gave me my license. A rough life. I said, man, I look back at my life sometime, I said, it's been rough. But thank God I'm still here. It's been tough. My dad, that man, when we started picking cotton, he started taking my money. Cutting the grapes, he taking my money. I had a toothache. Abscess had set in this side. He cost $4 then. He wouldn't have my teeth pulled. I'm back in my room laying down. A friend of ours. His name was Henry Ball. He came back. That's my dad where I was. He said, he back there in the room. That's all he told me. He called me. And Henry Ball here. The guy walked up. He said, man, what's wrong with you? I said, man, I got a toothache. He said, I'm going. I'll be back in about 30 minutes. That man went wherever he went. He wasn't going, I don't think he was going no 30 minutes. He came back and he said, come on. I went with him. He went taking me to the dinner. But she wouldn't pull my tooth because of that abscess. He gave me a shot. And that wasn't having that tooth here. I went back in my room, laid down. My mom said, get up. Get your face towel. Turn that hot water on. And stick that towel to that jaw as hard as you can bear. I got up and did that. Man, that thing busted, looked like the top of my head came off. Well, I said stop. I kept doing it. I scratched all that junk out. And you know what? That tooth is still there.
It's still there. Wow. Well, you fixed it. You became your own dentist that day.
Huh?
I said you became your own dentist that day.
Yeah. I mean, it's still there and it don't bother me. But if my teeth start hurting, it don't hurt, just aching or whatever, if I can stand it, it's going to eventually fall out. Majority of my teeth fell out. They pulled some of them in Austin, Texas, but the majority of my teeth, they feel talking about, you need to go to the doctor and see what it for. I ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere.
Grandpa, you had told me a story about when you went to school and there was this new PE teacher, and they said he liked to kick the students.
He lived. That man kicked that Japanese boy. He little fat Japanese boy. He kicked that Japanese boy. I mean, come across that gym. All the way out of the back door. I said, that did it. I said, because if he ever put his foot on me, he'll never put his foot on nobody else. When school was out that night, I walked to Chinatown. I got me a blade. Got me a rock. And I went home and I showered that night. Opened that night with that long. Had a white pearl handle. My mother used to take it and try to cut that toenail. She said, boy, you got that knife too sharp. I didn't say nothing. But I told her, just like my mother, I told her things that gonna happen to her. She told me there was nothing gonna happen to her. But anyway, I went to school that Monday. I didn't even think about it until I was at school. Getting dressed, supposed to get dressed for gym. I said, oh Lord, I'm gonna have trouble out of this man. I walked down to his office. He was sitting there. I don't know what he was doing. But I knocked on the door. He did like that. I walked in. I said, Mr. Hill, I left my locker number at home. Will you get it for me, please? He didn't say, yeah, okay, or not. He got this big book and he wrote, and he found it and he wrote it on a piece of paper. And he handed it to me. I went on to unlock that locker, stuck that piece of paper in my pocket, and locked that locker. Never thought about it till PE was over. When the bell rung, I said, oh Lord, I got to go back to this man. That's trouble. I said, well, ain't nothing else I can do. I went on, I walked on back, walked on in the gym, went on back to his office. He was still sitting in his desk. I said, Mr. Hill, I stuck that piece of paper in my pants pocket and locked it up in that locker. I said, will you get it for me, please? He said, well, Earl, go take your shower. Now open it. I come down there and open that locker. I got right in the door where I could see him when he opened that locker. When he opened that locker, out of that water, I had business. Dried off as quick as I could. Put my clothes on. It's just like this wall. lockers along this wall until you got to that door. But when you got to that door, there was no locker because you make a sharp right and you're outside. When I got to that door and I stepped up in that bed first. I ran my hand in my pocket. He says to me, Earl, I'm going to kick your butt before the day is gone. I backed up. Then he said, yeah, like you don't believe it. I said, no, I don't believe it, and you don't either. He started to me, and I came out with that blade. Me and that white man. Down that hall. He ran in his office and locked. Good thing he didn't have that door locked, because I'd have got a chance to stick that knife in him. But he ran in his office and locked the door. I turned around then and went back. I got outside. The next classroom I had to go to went nowhere. Mr. Sonny. I walked in Mr. Sonny's room. He said, Earl, go to the office. And on my way to the office, I'm wondering, how in the world did they get a note from the office to Mr. Sonny's room that quick? There's no intercom or nothing, no phone number. How did they do that? So I got to the office. Now, I had a good way to go to the office. Almost 40 from here, better than that one house up the hill. But when I got there, they said, go home. I turned around and I went home. I'm still wondering, how did they get that note to Mr. Zonley's room? So I went on home. The next day, Mama went with me. They told us, so we're going to see to him not going to school nowhere in California. But they didn't care. They could. I don't have an education. I don't have an education. If it wasn't for my daughters, I don't know what I would do. But I've had jobs that you need to be able to do it, but I did them. And only the good Lord knows how. I do not have an education.
What grade was that, Grandpa?
Huh?
Was that in high school that happened?
Yeah, that was I was past the 10th grade.
Okay.
I don't know why. I didn't know nothing.
That was at Edison? Edison, yeah.
Trisha was at school, but that little school behind us. She was having some kind of problem. Betty Joe told me to go down there. The principal of that school, he was the assistant pastor. The assistant principal at that time, Edison. And when I stepped up in the door, he knew me. His head fell on top of that desk and never did move. I walked on up, talked to him. He never did look up at me. But Trisha never had no more problem.
You said at one point in time, there were some kids that were turning the PG&E off on Florence.
Oh, that was just stupid young boy. They were doing that on the kind of Karen. I think Karen called us a black one of them, and she finally quit.
Okay.
And then they go, man, get to looking at a good movie, and the lights go out. So I was saying Joseph was on around and turned the lights back on. But one Saturday, I goes around there to turn the lights back on. And they start throwing green peaches at me. So one man said, go in the house, get your gun and go down that corner, kill everything down there. But when I got to the door, said, no, go call the law. So that's what I did. A white officer and a black one came out. And they was acting like I was giving them a reason to turn my lights out. They made me mad. So I told them, I said, wait a minute, hold it. I tell y'all what y'all do. Y'all go back to town. Go back. I'll sell this. So finally they got in their car and they left. But they said they were going down there and talk with them. I don't know. But the next day, the school that I walked around in that yard waiting on them. They walk around there in front of Miss Douglas' house. I called him, I said, hey, y'all, I said, come here. He just walked on over. I said, let me tell you something. I said, I don't know which one of y'all cutting my lights out. I really don't care. I said, but the next one of you monkeys cutting my lights out, they're going to find you laying right down inside that box. I turned around and went on in the house. My lights didn't go out no more.
That was it.
That weekend, they moved.
Gone.
That weekend, they had it up.
Right.
But it's a funny thing about me. I never scared. I never was scared of nobody hurting me. I always was scared that somebody was going to be stupid enough to make me hurt them. Never scared of nobody hurting me.
You said that at one point there was one of your friends or somebody that used to box. And
Oh yeah, I don't know. I started out with a guy by the name of Leroy. Leroy was his name. His fighting name was Tagger.
Tagger.
I used to box with him. Then, he was a Marine. I got acquainted with him because he was, oh my goodness. They used to live on Geneva. He had a brother too that about my side. He tried to get his brother to box. His brother told him no. So he asked me, will you box with me? I said, yeah. So I boxed with him. And then his brother said, you got some good. You got some good licks on him. I said, yeah, but he hit me, he tagged me one time like knocked me down. I kept jumping up. And he kept me. He said, man, come on. Forget that. I learned. And I learned, tell you the truth, I learned myself mostly. Because if you angry at somebody, and you undoubtedly might get whooped. Because you're going to be throwing everything that you got at them. You need to try to keep your head. Punch, jab. Punch, jab, and move. You got to keep them from hitting. If you can, you know they're going to try to figure out what they're going to throw. But they're going to throw their right hand or their left. And beat them to that punch. I'm not boasting, not bragging, but I was good. I was good. Wasn't scared of nobody. Only thing that scared me that you gonna make me hurt you. Then I got so I think I'll be scared of no man. And I get me a 2x4, me a brick, and I knock your head off.
Get smart about it, huh?
I've had teachers come to me. I think they might have thought I was scared. Because they said, come on, let's go to the gym, put the gloves on. I get up. She get about, oh, I was just kidding. I wouldn't.
They trying to test you.
Yeah. I was not scared. They tell me about guys. Tell me that, but you told man, that guy got back. I said, yeah. Okay, we'll see. There's a guy. What would that do? But anyway, I would call myself going with Barbara. Girl named Barbara. And he called himself going with a girl named. But I was playing with her. So I hit her. So her brother and I was going to the show. So he asked him, says, Roy, who there with you? He said, Henry. He said, hey, Henry. I said, hey, man, don't hit my girlfriend no more. Well, shoot, I thought he was joking anyway. I said, I don't want to hit your girlfriend. I said, I'd rather hit you anyway. Then you know how guys is. But you say, Henry? I said, I'd rather hit him anyway. I don't have to be his girlfriend. He said, meet me at the boys' club tomorrow night. I said, I'll be there. I was there. He wasn't. He said, we don't understand. That guy can fight. I said, she didn't show up.
There was one guy, you said, I think it was a brick.
Oh, yeah.
He said
and now he was there, been in prison, that stupid idiot.
Uh-huh.
And that dude was big. Man, close his shoe. Big muscles. Railroad stomach. I never thought about it, but he told me, he said, you won't try to hit me with that brick. Well, this guy got to be crazy. I said, you going to tell me I won't try to hit you with this brick? He said, yeah. I got the brick thrown up in my hand, whole brick. And I think I hit him about 2 or 3 times. I said, you going to tell me I won't try to hit you with this brick? He said, no, you won't try. He said, oh, you will throw it at me. He said, but you won't try to hit me with it. She said, I wind that brick up. If that brick hadn't hit the ground, it'd have hit him right upside his big head. And then when it hit the ground, they would try to hit him. That brick was kind of flip it was. And then he gonna tell me, boy, you ain't got no sense. I said, no, you the one that got no sense. Tell me I won't hit you with a brick.
Yeah.
I shot a white girl with a slingshot.
You said what, Grandpa?
I shot a white girl with a slingshot.
Uh-oh.
Me and the guy lived next door to me. His name was Vernon. He was a Mexican. Vernon and I know was tight. He said, hey, Henry. I said, what? You said white girl come down the street? I said, yeah. You won't hit her. Yeah. With the biggest piece of black top I could find. Go in that slingshot. I said, I won't hit her. He said, no, you won't hit her. Well, I'm glad that thing hit the ground because it was aiming at her head.
Uh-oh.
And the guy did about two, it hit the ground and it hit her on her hip. And when it hit her on her hip, she grabbed her hip and sat down.
Hey, sat down.
Well, you tell me, man, you know you ain't got no sense. I do have good sense. I ain't crazy. I just don't tell me what I want to do. And today, I hate for somebody to tell me to do something. I ask for you to ask me, but to tell me to do it, oh, I went to I went to court. I got a ticket. The judge, well, see, I had never been before. And the judge was talking to me, he asked me something. I asked him the other day, what did you say? People giggling. And he was, the judge was saying, were looking all around. Then finally he said something else. He said, we sent you a letter, did you get it? I said, no, I ain't getting no letter. He said, well, if you had got the letter, well, I put you in jail for a day. And he said, well, since you didn't get the letter, I want that $15 back up in the night before we close. I want you to bring that $15. I looked at him saying to him, I said, you will never get no $15 out of me. And I had it in my pocket. I said, you never get no $15 out of me today. You know it was 2 weeks before he got that $15? But I didn't take it.
You still didn't take it up there.
I still didn't take it. I sent it up there about my mother. I hate for somebody to tell me, you got to do. What did you say? Man.
That's almost like when you were working at the school and the guy told you to go outside and mow the lawn and it was hot and you said no and then they tried to fire you.
Oh, man. That little old bitch she didn't let me know, man. She said, that was that lady's name. She was over the custodian, Miss Cummings. I'm going to tell Miss Cummings, I don't care who you going to tell. She come down on my room. Mr. Nolan. Yes, ma'am. This bitch said she told you to go outside and cut that grass. I said, you told her you wasn't. I said, that's what I told her, and that is exactly what I meant. She said, go home. Okay. I went locked my locker. I didn't go park out. We got in my car and went home. The next day I went back to the school. They said, go to the Hidden Center. That's where all the big balls are. That's cool, man. We went on down to the Hidden Center, waiting on this man to call me. Finally, he called me. He said, Mr. Logan, come in there. I walked in the room. He says, don't let me, they picking on you. I said nothing. He said, because if you didn't want to cut that grass, why didn't they get somebody else? He said, going back to work. Got in my car, going on back to work. Boy, I wish you could see their faces. I drove up on that school ground, walked in that building, and went on down on my run. Like they said, what are you doing here? I know you fired. No, I wasn't either. No, I wasn't fired. Then I don't know why, but I worked at Motorola. This Mexican tried to get me fired. He told the guy that comes in early, he's the boss, he's one of the bosses. He go down there and tell him, said, oh, Pat. Tell Pat to fire at Logan. He said, what? Tell Pat to fire Logan. He said, that man worked too hard. I'm not going to tell Pat to fire that man. So he didn't. So then he had to go to the supervisor, the day supervisor, and tell them things that I wasn't doing. And I was sitting beside of the boss of the cafeteria. So finally she says to me, she said, Henry, is he talking about that big trash man that's in the kitchen now? She said, I didn't even answer that. He said, yeah. She said, hey, no one do empty that trash. He empty that trash before he leave here every morning. I didn't have so word. So he looked down the list. He asked me something else. He finally got through. I still didn't say nothing. She said, he does that too. So he finally said, I guess I better was to shut up and get out of here.
Yeah.
He taken that list and went on back to Pat. But now, they thought I was going to get fired. Because one morning I walked up in that place, but that was my second night there. This woman come hollering at me. That was a mistake. I hollered back at her. And she told my boss what she came. She come down there and asked me about it. I said, that woman come hollering at me. I didn't know where for her to holler at. She said, but she had already told him. Logan didn't do that. Yes, Logan did do that too. But anyway, she said, I want her to apologize to Logan. She come holler at me. Who she thought she was.
Wow.
But I guess because people thought they was in Texas, there are certain things that you're not supposed to do. And I don't know what them things was. Because if you holler at me, I holler at you. Whatever you did to me, I did it back.
Right.
And be waiting on you to fight. But we got along. After then, we got along. And then people act like I was the boss or something. A man got a phone call. He got a phone call that his wife, they had just rushed his wife to the hospital. He called Miss Evans. She told me, I had to tell about going home to see about his wife. She told him he couldn't go. So he came to me. And he said, no, I said, I got a call. But now it's almost time to go home. He said, I got a call at 3 o'clock that they had put my wife in the hospital. He said, Miss Edna told me I couldn't go home. I said, man, you crazy. I said, well, since she told you, I said, call the head center. Go over her head. Call Miss Edna. And that's what he did. Miss Edna told him, said, boy, if you don't go home and see about your wife, I'll fire you.
Wow.
He got on out of there and see about it.
I remember you told me that you always wanted a whip.
Oh yeah, I still want that whip.
You still want a whip, huh?
I'm glad I didn't go. I was gonna steal Glenn's whip. I said, if he ever fire me, I'll quit. I'm taking that whip. But I didn't take it. But I could do things with that whip that I never did with a whip.
Mm-hmm.
Papa had a whip. Shoot, every time I try to pop that whip or something, my papa hit me in my face. But I taken that whip out down that parking lot, taking it a while, and I was shocked. Yo. Thought they didn't know I could do that.
And you said, I don't know if it was your mom. It probably was. She had told somebody to go get a guinea. And yeah.
She's that my cousin. Pete must have been, he had to be about 20 years old. And she told Pete, when you get through doing what you're doing, you go over to Clarence Walker and tell him to send me a guinea. You go get that guinea after you get through doing what you're doing. And no doubt, Pete, when Pete got to town, he went on and got that guinea.
Before
and
he
I didn't
did.
have nowhere to put that guinea. So I put that guinea up in a corner somewhere. That guinea flipping, flopping, and they danced all over that guinea and killed that guinea. And but when he came home, boy, it was raining. And Grandma got up early that morning, put that water on, goes out there to get that guinea. That guinea was still dead. Grandma came back in, she said, Pete, you go out there and you get that dead guinea out of that cook. Now, she didn't tell me what to do with that guinea after you got him out of that cook. She just told me to get him out. Grandma was going, making 2-minute trips from the living room back to the kitchen. And Pete had never moved. Grandma said, Pete, I told you to get up and get that dead guinea out of that cook. Okay, Grandma, okay. And finally he got up. I guess he thought Grandma was through making that pass through, going to the kitchen and back. He got that one pan, he got one leg over in them pants. Grandma reached up beside that door. My daughter, she got that whip. Yo, good Lord of mercy. He would almost fall. She cut him again before he gets straight. And he's trying to get that other leg in them pants so he get them pants up. Maybe it wouldn't hurt so bad.
Right.
But it wasn't working. They won't work with that whip. And finally when she started working, she said, now you go get that getting out of that club. And Mama didn't, my mother didn't make it no better than over. I heard Pete. That guinea was dead when Pete put him in that cook. He told that guinea to be alive when you got up.
Uh-huh. He wanted him to come back from the dead.
Yeah. But boy, if it rained 2 days, and I mean rain, you couldn't go outside where my grandmother lived. That water be up around that house over 6 feet deep. You ain't going nowhere. Papa go out there and turn them hose and the horses and loose. Papa bought a blind horse. Already blind. And I was saying to myself, why in the world would this man buy a blind horse gonna run over something and kill her crazy self?
Right.
But that horse had more sense than Papa did.
Wow.
And Papa, he could ride her without a problem. Ride her right on up to the house. Just like he could on the rest of them. Only thing, that horse had never heard him shoot a gun off of her. Papa came to the house one day, all scarred up. Grandma, I think, thought he had been in a fight. Grandma said, honey, what's wrong with you? He said, I caught those Stella. And I seen the squirrel going up the tree. He said, I shot that squirrel. This horse taking off. Yeah, I let that horse kill me and her too. Shoot, that horse came to the house. That horse ain't had a scratch on him. Not a stretch. Papa was the only thing that was stretch.
The horse was trying to get out of the way when he started shooting.
Yeah.
It messed him up. I remember you told me about a time, I can't remember who it was, but somebody, I think, came to try to fight you or something, and you were on the porch with your mom, and she intervened, but you were going to get a broom.
Probably, yeah. But that was Otis Fuller.
Otis Fuller.
He, well, I had already knocked that fool out. He was big. And just as I said, though, I had the rock in his hand. And when I started by him, he grabbed his hand. And when I backed up, he turned it loose. When he turned it loose, I pulled it. I hit that clown right there. You could hear that rock, that pew. And he would have fell on me if I hadn't moved. He fell towards me, not backwards. And I went on in the house, Mama said, what are you doing? I said, I just knocked the food out of Otis Fuller. Mama said, she went to the door. She said, where is he? I said, he lay down at the corner of the house, right there where Papa got that lumber. I mean, Uncle Foster. So she went back, finished getting ready. She walked back to the door, he hadn't made it. She went back, finished getting dressed. That time she finished getting dressed. About that time she walked back to the door, he was just walking up. Send him out here, I'm gonna kill him. So that one got that close hammer, I'm gonna build me a house. Mama wouldn't let me out. But that be close hammer, and boy would die that long. Let's go out and build me a house.
When you say build a house, you talking about him?
Build a house out of him.
Right. Everybody wanted to fight. Why weren't you guys getting along? You know, why were you and Otis Fuller fighting?
Well, he said I hit him and his sister. Well, they were throwing rocks at the house over there.
That's right.
And it was dust dark. And I told Mama, I said, Otis and his sister's throwing rocks. Mama said, go and throw back. So I went outside and said, throw. I could throw. I had to tell the truth. I could get a rock in this hand and throw it up and hit it with this one. That was good. He said I hit him and his sister. I said, I told him I ain't hit nobody. I said, I just walked that lady across that field and back. He said, you hit me and my sister. So then I started buying. When I started buying, he grabbed the hand with the rock in it. So I backed up. When I backed up, he turned me loose. And when he turned me loose, I hit him.
You got arrested one time, huh, Grandpa? When they sent the paperwork to say that you could take care of your dad, but you didn't send the paperwork back, and then
Yeah, them people are stupid. But they had been telling me they were gonna do it. We're gonna arrest you. You gotta, you pay. Then you're gonna have to pay $5,000 to get out of jail. But shoot, I've been doing this so long, they ain't done nothing, so I kept on throwing that junk away.
yeah.
And finally, they came to the house. I wasn't there. Daddy brought them down to my sister where I was. And they taking me to jail. I was in that cell by myself. That was about 9 o'clock that morning. He came and got me at 5 o'clock that evening. And but I told him, that man ain't my father. That they did with her stupid, she was stupid. She asked me what my full name. I told her. I said, my name is Henry West Dogan Jr. Well, she ran over to what that dude was. I told her, you got the wrong man. This is not Henry Logan. She said, well, is that what he told me? So then I explained it to her. That's when they locked me up. The bell, man, Wells, I know that Bell's bundle name. I should never forgot it. But then when he called me late on that evening, he said, Mr. Logan, do you want to be bothered with these people? I said, no. He said, well, if I don't call you, you just forget it. I said, okay. He never did call and I forgot it. Then he, when I next time I went, but I guess I called my own self going to jail because I said, I want to see what it feel like. Stupid. So when we taking Doris and her boyfriend, 3 o'clock that Sunday morning to the fair. And on our way back, coming down Ventura, the policeman stopped her. And he said to us, first he said, where you been? I said, been to the fair. And another one said, what you doing with this can of beer in your car? I said, there's no can of beer in the car. The other one, William was his crazy, so he older, he ain't said a word. He says, it is a can of beer in the car. And finally, he kept on talking about that beer. I told him, get in there and get it. So that's what he got. That's what he did. Then he kept on asking, now you going to tell how I got in, we're going to lock you up. I said, I guess you're going to lock me up then, because I don't know how I got in there.
Okay.
So he locked us up. That Monday morning, we was down there, supposed to be going to trial. That was the biggest cop I ever seen in my life. I never saw a cop that big. That man was big and tall. He had a little short dude with him. But the big guy says, why did they lock y'all up? And I told him. He said, that wasn't no reason to lock you up. He says, did they tell you the car was stolen? I said, no. He said, well, it is. The car is stolen. He said, who did it belong? I said, it belonged to Henry Barr. He said, where is he? I said, y'all got him locked up. I said, he whooped a woman with a water hose and broke 2 of her ribs. So this big cop says to the small, said, then I'm going to talk to the guy. I said, you stay here with them. So while he was gone, this little one said, you sure y'all wasn't drunk? I said, man, I don't drink, and I can prove I don't drink. And he ain't said nothing about drinking no more. He said, well, the reason they didn't have no reason to lock y'all up. So he was stupid down in front of us. So when this big dude came back, he says to He said, I can't understand why they cops locked them up. He said, they didn't have no reason to lock them up. He said, well, we're going to have to call them. We're going to have to call them. He said, well, what we do with them? He said, turn them loose. They'll go home. So we went home.
So you got to experience jail just for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good
I
enough.
said, I bet I don't want to go to jail no more.
That's it.
That's it. She said, I don't want to be locked up nowhere.
I understand that. I think I remember you telling me that you met Grandma at a store that she was working at. Is that right?
I had met when I was 100 into the variety store.
Variety store.
And I met her through that nut that's in there.
Aunt Susie.
Huh?
Aunt Susie?
Yeah. She came to the house and said, Henry, there's a girl over here I want you to meet. I said, I don't want to meet no girl. Yes, you do. Come on. So I goes over there. Billy Joe was behind the counter. She wasn't busy. So she said, this is my brother. And this, she said, her name is Billy Joe. So I would go over there. I would go over there every single day that she was working. I was over there one weekend and busy. The thing wasn't busy. So much the Chester told her, so well, you can go home. So she walks over to me and said, let's go. She said, let's go.
Uh-huh.
She said it again. I said, go where? So finally, I got up. We walked out. She says, let's go to the show. I said, okay. So we walked on down Chinatown, went to the Ryan Theater. And I don't know what in the world we watched that shit. Some kind of movie. And then I walked her home. She lived on the Residence. That's a long way from where I live. But then the next, well, yeah, she was back. I went back over there. But this particular time, she worked all day. Then she said, come on, walk me home. Okay, so I walked her home. Then Henry Barr had I think that was a 40 Plymouth, I believe. But I could get that car whenever I wanted. Mm-hmm. So I told Henry, I said, let me use your car. He said, okay, so he let me use it. And I drove her home. Karen and Anthony was already born.
Okay.
So she says to me, she said, I don't think I might never get married because I don't think nobody want to marry me. I said, I'll marry you. She said, you will? I said, yeah. So we set the date. July the 7th. My cousin was here from Los Angeles. He had a 48 Chrysler. So I went over to her house. I asked her, I said, why are we going to wait until July? We ain't going to have no more than we got now. She said, well, we don't set the date, we wait. I left here. At night, worked in her house. My cousin was finna go back to Los Angeles. I packed me some clothes. I left. I went to LA. Went to Los Angeles. Went to work. And finally I came back. And I was walking, going to a lady's house on Plymouth to mow her grass. Billy Joe pulled up beside of me in that pony. Asked me where I was going, I told her. She said, what you gonna do? I said, I'm gonna go over there and cut this lady's yard. So I did. Then we started singing one night. She said, I don't want to see that. I don't want no big wedding. I just want a few people. I said, well, we get married at El Albino. So that's what we did. And we moved down on down. I moved the beds and everything on top of that car. I had the mattress on top of the car.
Uh-huh.
I pulled up in the driveway to take the mattress off. There was no mattress.
Gone.
So I got back in the car, take it off. And right where I turned the corner at, off of it there, going to Thorn, that's where I dropped the mattress.
Uh-huh.
And I went back and picked it up. Yeah, I hope I would. Even before we thought about marrying, though, I hope I would. Karen and Anthony. Anthony was a fat baby. That boy was fat. But the only thing, I would go over to Picola's then. I couldn't stay. And when Oprah kids treated Picola's mama, I didn't like it. So I couldn't stay. They tell them kids to get that lady a glass of cold water, they spit in it. I got to go. But Betty Joe here was hard. That was a hard-headed woman. And there was no way you could soften. I had a friend that works in the bar. He the one that see me getting my teeth pulled, which they never did pull.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I move, I mess up the thing, huh?
No, you just fine, Grandpa. I just move it a little bit and you right perfect where you need to be.
I said, Betty, don't rent Henry Bar no room. I said, what says Betty Joe rent Henry Bar a room. She rented that nigga a room.
Uh-huh.
But I told the kids, I said, he gonna tell you that he's not your uncle. I said, don't get in the car with him because I don't want to kill him. I said, I don't care what he tell you, don't get in the car with him. And they didn't. And he told me one evening I got home that Betty Joe was saying, I'm gonna tell you something that, but after this, because I still can't believe I don't know why my mama did that to me. But anyway, he never did pick him up, or they never did ride with him.
Mm-hmm.
We got ready to move. We left him in that house. He was something. He get to be your friend, but he'll steal from you. He will steal from you. If you was a woman, he'd break in and rape you.
Oh, wow.
I never seen nothing like that. But what I was gonna say, I haven't told but one somebody. And I've been trying to figure out why would my mama tell me something like that? That wasn't, I said, I know it wasn't sure. My mama came home. I was at her house. We were living on Eunice. She was living on Eunice. I was living on, me and Betty Joe were living on Flum. My mama told me that Anthony said he was going to kill me. I thought about that. First, when she first told me that I'm going home, get my gun, he opened that door to come in, I'm going to blow his brains out. Well, Mama said, no, don't do that. So I did. But finally, I went home. And they came in, hey, Pop, something, this, that, and the other, we was talking. Now I'm wondering, Lord, why would my mama tell me something like that? That boy ain't thinking about killing me. And that's been bothering me. I haven't even told Anthony about it. But why? Me and Anthony got along, to tell you the truth, we got along good. We were living with Anthony on Fountain Way. Mm-hmm. Boy, I really missed it then. Yeah. Because if he got ready to go, he go knock on that door. Never. I didn't say nothing. He opened, he coming in. Then he said, Pop, I'm getting ready to go. I said, okay, man, you take care. All right. He leave. But now if he was going over to Karen, he said, Pops, I'm going over to Mom's. Do you want to go? I said, man, I ain't dressed. He said, I'm not in no hurry. He said, I'll wait. And I would wait on him. And he said, wait on me. Uh-huh. And he goes over there. He didn't ask them was anything done. He didn't ask. He would go in that kitchen, fix me something to eat, and bring it. But I'm telling you, I loved Anthony. That was hurting when he left. Yeah. He never left that house without letting me know he was leaving. Shoot, Joseph leave that house at midnight. He ain't gonna say nothing. Mm-hmm. And he'll come back to that house and cook. It won't leave you nothing to eat. He take it. Oh. But Anthony wouldn't do that. But I still was trying to figure. Sometimes I think about it now. Why? Lord, why? Would she tell me something like that? Yeah. That Anthony's kid or something killed that boy at the bus stop. You remember that?
No, I don't.
Huh? But they had a big up to do about that. And they wanted to know what they were going to do with the person that killed them. Sometimes I got to break my sister, my older sister's neck, because she got her nose stuck in somebody else's business. Because I told her, I said, why would you talk to those stupid people? But they say, if they don't do anything, I said, well, I tell you what you tell them. I said, you tell them they're going to serve 100 years. And that's something they don't want to do. I ain't heard no more about it.
That was it.
Because they don't, I said, you don't know what they're doing. But I know them in your Anthony. Because if you couldn't fix it, you needed something fixed, he gonna fix it.
Yeah.
Nobody else ain't gonna fix it.
Right.
But if it needs fixing again, you're gonna have to get him to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So can't nobody else do it. He was something else. Joseph called me that morning. I almost asked him, he said, we lost Anthony. I almost asked him, where did Anthony go? Then it dawned on me.
Yeah.
But looking back over my life, Lord help me. I done something stupid. Because 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
And I said I wasn't going to do it. I did it.
I remember you told me after having your stepdad that if you ever were like a father to some kids that weren't really yours, that you would treat them the same.
Yeah, I told God that. And I had 2 twin boys in Austin. I don't know what they thought I was knowing that I was going to leave their mama or not. But they said, Mr. Logan, if you ever leave, please take us with you. I said, shoot, they have every carpenter in Austin looking for me. I had him. It was a Mexican man working at the jail out. He was a security guard. Everybody that comes in that place, you tell them that I was his dad. Can you imagine the people looking at him and looking at me?
Yeah, yeah.
But everybody, he said, this is my dad. I said, why in the world? I didn't never question it. But it was a little boy. I guess he about 3 or 4. He lived, it wasn't a project, in a home while Lee was over the homes. Every time that little boy would see me, he called me Grandpa. And he'd come running as hard as he could. And I wanted to tell him, I said, leave him alone. But Miss Cummins had a son. She put him in the infant center right back at the school. Her and I both was out there. I don't know why she was out. She was out there maybe to get her son. But I left him out there. And I don't know why this lady started calling me Dr. Logan. And that little fella caught on to it. I was even there infant center. I heard some, Dr. Logan. And I happened to look around, he was coming. That little fella was running as hard as he could. He running so fast that I was scared he might fall and everything. Yeah. So I went back, I met him and picked him up. That little fella had me around my neck. If he had been a little bigger, I said, hey man, you got to turn me loose.
Right.
I mean, he was holding on for dear life. She came and she was trying to get him. He wouldn't let go. And I looked at, I finally, when she finally pulled him off, he was just kicking and hollering.
He didn't want to let go.
Uh,
He didn't want to let
no,
go.
he didn't want to let go. And I've been in places where children stand up in the floor, and I look at them, they standing there doing. I said, come here, and they come to me. Hey, listen, Washington. But when Leslie was a baby, they go to the choir and they get baby, that girl would holler. Oh, she was screaming. And one man said, go get her.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to go get that baby. And I'm going to tell you what, because she be don't pee on those women and she be cold. I didn't want that.
Yeah.
But I would go get her and she wouldn't holler.
Yeah.
She wouldn't say a word.
She was comfortable with you.
Huh?
She was comfortable with you?
Yeah. Then I living on Island. Some white people live next door. And sometimes they leave their baby. Well, they have left the baby with me and he didn't holler.
Mm-hmm.
But they leave the baby with somebody else and the baby holler. They said, I called you to do it, take the baby over there to Henry.
Uh-huh.
And I said, I know you know I want to keep that baby.
Yeah. They just want the babies to stop hollering, so they take them to you.
Shoot.
Have you what kind of jobs have you worked, Grandpa? I know you said that were you in construction at one time?
No, they tried to get me to work construction. I didn't work construction because I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
But I worked for Richards Products.
Uh-huh.
I worked for Motorola. That you need to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I worked for the school district that they told me I wasn't going to be able to work for the school district because I didn't have
Diploma?
a
A diploma?
No, I didn't have my birth certificate.
Okay.
I worked for that school until I quit. I worked for Motorola until I quit. I worked for the school district until I quit. I worked for Swiss Packing Company until I quit. I worked for the steel plant. And the only reason I didn't quit that, they decided to move all that stuff to Arkansas. I ain't going to Arkansas.
Yeah.
But I worked. They tell me to do, it's things that they would tell you to do. And how can I do that? I don't know what to do. But somehow the Lord will show me what to do. And I worked. I started working at Motorola. And they had them big building on right behind the county. And them cooks sure were messed on the roads up. They didn't tell you how to clean them. So then first night, I cleaned one side, I turned them jokers over. And I cleaned that floor. Then I cleaned the mat. Then I put that part of the mat down and go to do the rest. My supervisor came. He said, that's good, that's good. I said to myself, I don't know what I was doing. Then you working for riches. A lot of that stuff you had to wear, none about wearing that stuff. But I did it. And I worked at Riches until I quit. Majority of the jobs I had, I quit them. They didn't fire me, I quit. Because Riches I gave them a couple months ahead of time. Told them I was quitting and I was going to Texas. They asked me, why are you going to Texas? What you want to go to Texas for? I'm tired of California. Then when I went to Riches, got tired of driving on that ice. And in that snow, I told him, I said, y'all, I'm quitting. That means I give you more money. I said, in order to stop that, I said, if you give me $1,000 an hour, I'm quitting.
I'm going. I'm leaving.
I said, I'm quitting. I'm going. I'm tired of driving in the snow and ice. I'm quitting. So I quit.
You drove trucks too. Did you drive trucks, Grandpa?
Huh?
Did you drive trucks too?
Oh, that was in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Oh, and I drove truck. I here in Mendoza too.
Okay.
And it's a funny thing because, okay, I went to work at Mendoza. And finally, one day, 2 contractors got into it about me. And I didn't know it. Both of them want me to work for them.
Oh.
And so finally he said, I tell you what we do. And let him decide. So they said, Logan, which one of us you'd rather work for? So I asked this one, so what do you do? He said, we take sugar up to the boxcar and put sugar in those tanks. But you can see that sugar moving out of that boxcar, going up in that tank. But if you mess around and mess the wrong button, you might be putting sugar in a tank that's already full. Then you got sugar blowing everywhere. I said, no, I don't want that one.
Right.
So then I asked the other guy, so what do you do? He said, the only thing you have to do is drive a truck. I said, what? He said, only thing you have to do is drive a truck. And you don't have to get out. You take that truck, put it up under that chute. When that truck gets full, you take it out there and dump it out there, whatever cows there. You don't even have to stop the truck. Just let up that bed and keep driving. When the thing gets empty, drive it back in, drive it right back by that chute. That's the job I want.
That's the one. I understand that choice. And so you live, what's that, Grandpa?
Huh?
I was going to ask, so you lived in Austin and Los Angeles, Fresno, El Centro, and anywhere else? Arkansas.
I wasn't working. I didn't have nothing about work. I lived in St. Louis. I lived in, I live in Florida, not Florida. Yes, I did. I lived in Florida. I lived in, oh my God. I live in a lot of little country towns, like Grady, Arkansas, South Bend, Arkansas. Some people don't even know what South Bend is. I lived in St. Louis, Missouri. I lived in Gary, Indiana. I've been in a lot of places. Some places I don't go to.
How are you feeling? You feel okay, Grandpa? You getting tired?
I feel all right.
Okay, that's good.
Well, I don't know. One of the things that bothers me sometimes my whole, well, if my stomach hurt, this whole thing hurt.
Oh, I see. I see. Is it hurting right now?
No.
Oh, good, good. Thank God. Is there anything that you look back on that you feel like you wish you had done different, or like, because sometimes when we're young we don't know things, and then we get older and then we say, you know what, if I could go back I would do something different.
Yeah, like, I think about your mother, your grandmother,
Uh-huh.
and Trisha and them. I said, I really wish I could redo it,
Yeah.
but I can't. And I try to do what I can now. Because I said, don't, it nothing ever get that bad that I would leave my kid,
Yeah.
but it did. And then after, but it take a while. I said, because two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
And I should have stayed. She should have stuck it out till my kids got grown, where they could take care of themselves. And it hurts. It really hurts. Nobody knows how bad that is. Like I try to talk to some people, no, but they decide to do what they want to do. But later on, they'll figure out, it'll come to them.
Yeah.
Like as a young man in Austin, he was playing football. He got mad because he said the coach was already on his back. I said, the coach sees what you can do. He see further up the road than you do. I said, man, but I tell you, I said, if you quit, there's going to be a day you'll look back and you wish that you had kept on playing. As I said, I could play baseball. I could play me some baseball. Just because I wanted to be first baseman, they wouldn't let me. I quit. I wish 1,000 times I wouldn't have quit. But brother, I can fade that field. You put that ball in the air, you don't messed up.
Uh-huh.
You put that ball in the air, you have messed up. And they got so I could tell who was up, or how far they gonna hit that ball. We played some girls. I'm supposed to be center field. This girl hit that ball right in shortstop. I stopped that ball, put her out, and threw the ball to first base, made a double play. My captain looked around and said, who in the world is center field?
Uh-huh.
I was but nobody in center field. She didn't knock that ball in center field either. But I could tell just about what you're gonna do.
You played soccer too, huh?
Oh yeah. See, people watch the dudes. I never take my eye, I never watched them. The only thing I could do was keep my eye on the ball. You come, try to block that ball, and I keep kicking that ball around. And pretty soon I kick that ball right through your leg and run around you and get that ball and head for the goal. And boy, you can play soccer. I play anything that I want to play. I don't want to play no football. I don't want to play no basketball. I don't want to play none of that.
It was soccer, baseball, and there was one more, right?
Soccer, baseball. No, that's bad. That's bad.
Okay.
And I run track. But the kids would say, the whistle would blow, the game is over. It's time for you to hit for your classroom. And they said, whoever picked that ball up, we gonna tackle. I take a look at that ball, not who was around the ball. I kicked that ball. When I kick that ball, I'm running. I mean, I'm moving. And I can run and pick that ball up. Then we got tackled.
Wow.
And when I got to the steps, I threw that ball down. Hit them steps 3 times. And that was it.
That's it. What makes you happy, Grandpa? Like now, or what has always just made you happy and brought joy to you?
Huh?
Is there anything that makes you happy right now, or anything that has always just brought joy to you? Do you know what things make you happy?
Mm-hmm. All of my grandkids, and Antoinette and Trisha, all of them, it makes me very happy.
Yeah.
I just say, Lord, I thank you. I don't know, as I listen to some people, they say they don't have no kids and they don't want no kids. They don't want to not be kids. They don't want to be crazy.
Yeah.
Something got to be wrong with you. But I thank God for y'all. And I thank God for the change in me. I really do.
I thank God for you too, Grandpa. What do you think about love? Or what have you learned about love as you got older? Like relationships and love?
I don't know. I don't think I remember. I don't think I ever thought about it.
Yeah.
Only thing I thought about is treating people right. Treating people like I want to be treated.
Yeah.
But the Lord did never tell me that they gonna treat me the same way.
No.
But I learned doing all somebody else will.
Yeah.
What you do for somebody, and then you see them and they mistreat you. But here comes somebody who will treat you right.
Yeah.
And I learned that at an early age. Because Henry Barr and I, we was on County Boulevard. His old car had quit. People passing by, they didn't do nothing. Here come a lady, going in the opposite direction. And she stopped. She said, I'm going home and get my husband's truck and I'll be back. And I'm saying to myself, not much. She didn't have to lie. But she did just what she said. and pushed us back to Fresno up to the service.
Get the charger. I'm gonna grab the charger real quick, Grandpa, before this thing gets low.